Welcome to Terra Talking, the podcast that's named after the blog that's just me, telling stories to offer help, healing, and hope as you journey into your passionate, purposeful, and prosperous life. Thanks for coming along on the ride, and now on to today's topic. What's up, party people? Coming to you live from late at night, like back in the day. Okay, so tonight we're talking about limiting beliefs, and that's because so one of the group members, Keely, who is one of my friends and also such an awesome name because it's my oldest daughter's name, she had posted this thing on her personal Facebook wall about 31 days of self-love. It's very colorful, really cute. I pinned it to the top of this group page. So if you haven't gone into the group, click on Grow with the Flow, go into the group page and you'll see it. And it's 31 just pretty easy to do little activities that will all add up to getting a better sense of loving yourself by the end of the 31 days of March. So we started a thread about it for day one. Day one was, I forget, but I know that day two, which is today, obviously, because it's the 2nd of March, day two was, and it said it real, easily, just let go of a limiting belief. Let go of a limiting belief that's holding you back. And I thought, we're going to need to talk about this one because limiting beliefs aren't something that you just let go. And you're like, oh, I don't need that belief anymore. If they were that easy to let go of, they wouldn't be called limiting beliefs because they wouldn't limit you from anything. You would just be like, I no longer wish to believe this way, so I'm going to just shift my mindset. And while it does get to be that easy, it's not always that simple, especially if you aren't aware of where your limiting beliefs are, where they've come from, and how to uproot and excavate through them to get them out. So we're going to do a little bit of chit chat about limiting beliefs tonight. I had asked this question a couple of weeks ago. It was a poll about, do you know what your limiting beliefs are? Do you even know what a limiting belief means, like what that means as a concept? And if you know where they are, do you know how to get rid of them? And the answers about limiting beliefs, I thought were pretty interesting from the group, from the people who had answered them. It seems like the majority of people understand what a limiting belief is, or at least have a basic understanding of it, but weren't sure how to go about getting rid of them. And I think a lot of that is because it's very easy to find some surfacey limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are something that you believe to be true about yourself, about the world, about how you operate within the world. And they therefore affect how you live your life. So, for example, a limiting belief is something like, I can't make money because making money is hard. I saw my parents struggle to make money. I have struggled to make money for most of my life. Therefore, my belief is that making money is hard. And that's a limiting belief because it limits how you view money. It limits what money can do, how money can show up for your life, and help you and be just a part of your everyday living. So that is kind of a definition of what a limiting belief is. And the thing is that some of these limiting beliefs are really easy to identify. Insert losing weight with making money. You can believe it is very hard to lose weight because you've tried it before and it hasn't worked, or you've seen other people struggle and it hasn't worked for them. So therefore you get this belief that losing weight is hard. And it's not something that you tell yourself on a daily basis. It's just always playing in the back of your mind. It's as if it's just the background music of how you're living your life. So insert that with whatever it is that's holding you back. So if you had a dream or wanted to do or be something, why aren't you doing that? And whatever that answer is, that is where your limiting beliefs are. So that's kind of generalized discussion about limiting beliefs. And what I wanted to talk about is more, how do you get rid of them? Because again, day 2's self-love challenge was to just drop this limiting belief. And I read that and I thought, oh, if only it were that easy, we would have such a healed society, because we'd stop believing things that were implanted into us from a very early young age and in deep into our subconscious in ways that we may not even understand, that we believe something that maybe isn't actually true. So when it comes to this day 2 of the self-love challenge and how do you get rid of a limiting belief? First of all, you have to identify it. You have to be able to question yourself. So start with, what is the goal? What is the thing that you're going for? What is that goal? What is that dream? What is that intention that you want to have happen? And we can start with the really short term. Start with something that you want to have happen by the end of March. For me, I'd like to lose another 15 pounds. And initially I say that 15 pounds in 1 month. And the very first thing that comes up is that even possible? So there we go. There's a limiting belief that I have, that it's not highly likely that it's possible physiologically to lose 15 pounds in 1 month. So then my next question to myself is, and this is the pattern that I want you to go through and ask yourself about limiting beliefs. So if I've identified that my limiting belief is that I'm not sure that it's possible to lose weight, to lose 15 pounds in 1 month. Where did I learn that? Who told me that? Well, I've learned that from reading and hearing things from medical gurus that say, oh, you're only supposed to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week. Okay, only supposed to. Except I also watch My 600-Pound Life, where Dr. Now wants them to lose 50 pounds in 1 month. Now, granted, I realize that having a lot of excess weight allows for your body to be able to shed what it doesn't need a lot quicker. So then, okay, I can at least get to this level of accepting it is possible to lose 15 pounds in 1 month. Is it possible for me? So that's the next question. Where do I think it's possible for me? Do I think that it's possible that my body has a lot of excess weight that it needs to let go of? Yes. So I believe that. I believe it is possible that my body can let go of that extra weight. Why do I want it to let go of that extra weight? What would this do for me? How would this serve me to lose the 15 pounds? Well, I would show up in a more confident way. And if I'm showing up more confidently for myself, my girls are going to see that. I'm going to show up online more confidently. And if I'm showing up more confidently, then I'm going to give you, my viewers, my friends, my audience, my clients, I'm going to give you more of a sense of confidence in yourself to go after whatever your dreams are besides your limiting beliefs. So it is of high service that I lose this 15 pounds by the end of the month. So therefore, yes, it's possible. And yes, it's something that I want to do. And yes, it has a purpose. So therefore, believing that I can lose 15 pounds in 1 month is kind of a no-brainer. So now I just have to take the aligned actions. I no longer need to feel into being held back by a belief about this that doesn't actually serve me or anyone else. So can you see how that is letting go of that limiting belief, figuring out what is the story that I'm believing about this thing that I'm being held back by? How did it get there? And what if I looked at it in a different way? What if I started to view that limiting belief as being the opposite of it being true? So for me, is it really actually possible to lose 15 pounds? I turned it into, it's more than possible to lose twice that, 3 times that. I've seen it happen. So of course it's possible. Therefore, it's not really a limit. There is no limit to the weight that I can choose to lose if I take the right aligned actions in such a way that it's supported by where my body is at and capable of. Attempting to lose that much weight while still living my life is completely possible. I don't have to be limited by believing it only has to happen a certain way. It has to happen in a certain timeline. It has to happen, like I have to lose exactly 0.75 pounds a day for this to happen. It doesn't have to happen like that. All I have to do is believe that it's possible for my body to release that 15 pounds of weight and not be limited by anyone else's story, because my story, my belief, is that it's possible for me, that it's of high service for me, and therefore that's what I'm going to move forward with. So I hope you all enjoyed watching me kind of just work through that limiting belief on my own. I wasn't planning on doing that, but as I was trying to think of, well, where do I really hear this story? Why do I really believe some of these things? When you allow yourself to question, is this actually true? Is whatever it is that is the story playing in my head about whatever I'm believing, is this actually true? And if I believe it's true, why do I believe it's true? And I think that when you can start to ask yourself those two questions about whatever it is that you feel like is in your way, you will start to uncover the fact that you believe it only because someone else told you it was true. And you may or may not choose to pick up that story on your own. You may say, well, maybe it was true back then. Maybe my grandma told me that, and for sure that was true back in the 1920s, but here in the 2020s, that's not necessarily the truth. So you will find that if you can be brave enough to start asking yourself, is this true? Do I really truly believe this? And can I change this belief? You start to open up worlds of possibility for yourself, because you start to ask yourself, what do I believe? What do I think I can possibly do? And why do I want to do this for me? So that's my little rant on limiting beliefs. So I encourage you all to go into the group at some point, whenever you're watching this. Click on the Grow with the Flow, get into the group, look at the top pin post, which is the 31 days of self-love, and look for our thread that is underneath that post, where we're talking about just typing in day 1, day 2, day 3, and our response to that. Keely is going to be taking the lead on kind of making sure that we're all kind of staying accountable. But I would love to have your engagement, jump in with this, just do what it is that each day's task is, and see if it doesn't start to shift your thinking. Keely, speak up the devil, here you are. Okay, I'm reading your comment. I know you can do it because you are Terra and you are a strong woman. Thank you. Thank you for that. I receive those words with such gratitude. That is awesome. Since January 9th, I have lost 35 pounds. I believe that I will, so I did. Yes, that's exactly it. 35 pounds in 2 months, 2.5 months, I guess. No, not even 2 months yet. That's amazing, Keely, truly. So again, it is possible. And what you just said, I believe that I will, so I did. You dropped the limiting belief about maybe in the past you haven't. Maybe you've tried before and it didn't work. Maybe you've lost a little bit and you gained it back. Those are all just limiting beliefs. But when you decide to change that belief, when you decide to let go of the old story, the old belief about yourself that is coming from a deep subconscious place, which usually when it's a thought or a belief that you can't even identify where it's coming from, typically that means that it is somewhere in our subconscious. And we live mostly from our conscious brains. They're the brains that tell us you've got to get up and get dressed. You have to wear pants or at least some kind of covering to work today. It's cold. You're going to want to wear a couple of layers. You need to not wear that sweater because you got made fun of the last time you wore it. This is our conscious brain talking. Our subconscious brain is kind of the background pattern, the background music that's always going. And we don't consciously think some of these thoughts. It's just we are prompted to take a certain way to work because we've always taken that way. We don't consciously always choose where we're going, what we're wearing, what we're eating. It's just a pattern that plays out day in and day out. That's our subconscious belief, our subconscious patterning. And when the subconscious is allowed to take over with some of these old stories, we get some of these crazy beliefs that make us, for me, I save shoe boxes. This is some kind of subconscious patterning. I have no idea why, other than somewhere along the way I picked up the story that shoe boxes were going to save the world or protect me from coronavirus or something. My cat just completely woke him up out of a dead sleep. Shoe boxes apparently are the savior. So I have enough for all of you. Don't worry. I can ship everyone a shoe box out of the kindness of my heart. But yeah, no idea why I save these shoe boxes. It's completely some subconscious patterning that runs in the background and makes me save shoe boxes out of almost every pair I've ever bought. So yeah, that's how weird our subconscious patterning can be. That's where our limiting beliefs come from. And the bottom line is that I want you to start challenging them. And I want you to also jump in with this self-love challenge that we're doing in March. And the reason you need to have self-love, and you will hear me talk about this every day in March, is that loving yourself is the highest service thing you can do. It seems counterintuitive. It seems so selfish. And yet, when you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror, look at yourself subjectively and say, I love who I am. And I know that I'm here with gifts, and I'm going to show up and give those gifts to the world. How healing is that? How great is it that those of us who know you, who get to touch you and be spoken to by you, get to be a part of your life living at your highest level, living the life that you've always imagined, living your passionate life, building the business of your dreams, building the life of your dreams, building the love of your dreams. We get to be a part of that. And because you're healing, we also get to heal. So of course, I want everyone to know that loving yourself is so worth it. Putting in the time and the effort to undo all of the programming that we get from society that tells us we're not good enough, we aren't enough, we aren't thin enough or rich enough or cute enough or Botoxed enough. Dropping all of those beliefs and living firmly in the truth of knowing who we are, loving ourselves, and bringing those gifts to the surface. That is how you start to live the life that you've always imagined. So I'm done rambling about this for tonight. You're welcome. Let me know if you need a shoebox. Someday I'm going to figure out why I hoard shoeboxes. But I know it's in the subconscious somewhere. So that is our talk for tonight. Learn to love yourself. Join us in the self-love challenge and allow limiting beliefs to come up, question them, and then let's start to change them. Let's start to add in some newer, better beliefs about yourself. Because I know that you're good enough, you're smart enough, you're strong enough, you are enough. You are enough. So I hope you all have a good night.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of Terra Talking. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Find me pretty much everywhere on the interwebs as @Terra Talking, that's TerraTalking, or at my blog, terratalking.com. Your reviews, comments, and shares are always so appreciated. May you prosper well as you live your most passionate, purposeful life this week. And as always, keep on keeping on.